Hello, welcome to VR English. This is MJ. Join me today in learning English. Today's target is the last 4 WH questions. They are when, where, why, and how. Repeat after me. When, where, why, how. Great. Now let's begin with our first question word, when. It is used to refer to a time or occasion. Let's practice using when with the be verbs is and are. The party. When is the party? Repeat. When is the party? Your birthday. When is your birthday? Repeat. When is your birthday? We leaving for Japan. When are we leaving for Japan? Repeat. When are we leaving for Japan? Now let's try does, do, and did. She play badminton. When does she play badminton? Repeat. When does she play badminton? It turn bad. When does it turn bad? Repeat. When does it turn bad? They watch TV. When do they watch TV? Repeat. When do they watch TV? You finish your homework. When did you finish your homework? Repeat. When did you finish your homework? That's all. Remember that in some cases, we can use the question word what followed by a time expression. For example, what day, what time, what year, and so on. Still, if you find it confusing, you can always use the question word when. Now, let's move on to the question word where. It is used to refer to a location. I want to know the place. Let's practice using where with the be verbs is and are. Your house. Where is your house? Repeat. Where is your house? Sam living now. Where is Sam living now? Repeat. Where is Sam living now? Your things. Where are your things? Repeat. Where are your things? His shoes. Where are his shoes? Repeat. Where are his shoes? We going to meet. Where are we going to meet? Repeat. Where are we going to meet? Now with does, do, and did. She go camping. Where does she go camping? Repeat. Where does she go camping? MJ and Sam work. Where do MJ and Sam work? Repeat. Where do MJ and Sam work? he lose his keys? Where did he lose his keys? Repeat. Where did he lose his keys? Next in line is the question word why. It is used to ask for an explanation or a reason. Like, I want to know the reason. Let's practice using why with the be verbs is and are. Tom sad. Why is Tom sad? Repeat. Why is Tom sad? Mary late. Why is Mary late? Repeat. Why is Mary late? You tired. Why are you tired? Repeat. Why are you tired? They crying. Why are they crying? Repeat. Why are they crying? Now with does, do, and did. It hurt. Why does it hurt? Repeat. Why does it hurt? You skip breakfast. Why did you skip breakfast? Repeat. Why did you skip breakfast? Our last question word is how. Well, it doesn't start with the letter W. However, it functions the same way with the first 7 WH questions, and that's to get particular pieces of information. Anyway, the question word how is used to describe the manner of doing something. I want to know the way. Let's practice. She go home. How does she go home? Repeat. How does she go home? It work. How does it work? Repeat. How does it work? You manage your time. How do you manage your time? Repeat. How do you manage your time? She make it. How did she make it? Repeat. How did she make it? Take note that the question word how can be used differently. Check the following sentences and practice with me. Age. How old? How old are you? Repeat. How old are you? Distance. How far is it? Repeat. How far is it? Frequency. How often? How often do you cook? Repeat. How often do you cook? Quantity for countable nouns. How many? How many apples do you have? Repeat. How many apples do you have? Price. Uncountable. How much? How much is it? Repeat. How much is it? Weight. How heavy? How heavy is he? Repeat. How heavy is he? Height. How tall is she? Repeat. How tall is she? Well, for the last one, we have this very special question. And we often hear it. Here we go. How are you? I hope you're doing fine. That's all. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.